As I'm making this video, I have yet to read the latest chapter of Boruto. I want to give you my clear and honest opinion as it develops. Besides that, I just think it's so much fun to experience these new chapters with you and discuss the intentions behind what is written, the tidbits that hint to the possible future, and what any of the currently displayed plot points mean for our heroes. I'm too excited to make this opening intro any longer, so let's just get into the video. Welcome to the Amagi. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. We've also noticed that lots of people who do watch our videos aren't actually subscribed to the channel. We understand that YouTube does do a good job of getting you what you want to watch, but if you want to make sure that you don't miss any videos, and if you want to support the Amagi, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. The chapter starts off where the last one ended. Boruto stands in front of Sarada and faces Code and his claw grimes. Code states that he had been searching for Boruto for a long time and he didn't expect him to make an appearance so quickly. He mentions that he regrets not attacking Konoha earlier, which would have saved so much time. Boruto offers a warning to Code, stating that he should remove his monsters now while he still can. If Code does this, Boruto vows to spare his life. Code seems shocked by this, reminding Boruto how helpless he was against him 2 years prior, saying that it should be Boruto asking Code to spare his life. Boruto tells him that he heard what he said and should agree to it, elsewise he'll lose more than just his eye like last time. All the while, Sarada watches and begins to realize just how much Boruto has changed. Boruto tells Sarada that there are a lot of people who haven't escaped yet that could use her help, and implores her to go help them and stay safe herself. All the while, 8th Hokage Shikamaru, I still can't get used to that, is utilizing his shadow paralysis jutsu on a small group of claw grimes. As Shikamaru... Wait, no, hold up. That wasn't Shikamaru, my bad, that was Shikadai, like father like son. Anyways, as Shikadai holds the claw grimes in place, Chocho shows up and utilizes her enlargement technique to increase the size of her fist and absolutely smack the claw grimes all the way back to Ohio. While Chocho is throwing down, Himawari and Inojin are watching from above on one of Inojin's beast art fouls. Chocho begins to get comfortable, stating that it's no biggie. They're all just quantity, not quality. Just as she says this though, another claw grime emerges from one of the defeated claw grime's chest marks, attempting to bite her. Shikadai calls out for her to pay attention, but it's too late. Just then, before the claw grime can actually bite her though, Inojin's bird comes down and grabs the poor dude and takes off with him. Inojin flies off with the claw grime, commenting that she shouldn't let her guard down. She thanks him for the help, but just as he tells Chocho not to let her guard down, he lets his own guard down and the creature takes out one of the bird's wings, causing it to fall. As it falls, Himawari also falls from the bird, only for the claw grime to jump out after her. Shikadai sees this coming, and as Himawari falls, Kawaki shows up like a bolt from the blue and kicks that claw grime with nearly enough force to make Chuck Norris smile. Himawari exclaims that it's Big Brother there to save them, much to the rest of her team's surprise. The claw grime hits the ground and... wait, what? This thing's got a Rinnegan? I have many takes on this, opinions and questions, but I'll save those for the end. Himawari thanks Kawaki for saving her, calling him Big Bro, to which Kawaki angrily reminds her not to call him that. Shikadai notices the difference in this claw grime compared to the others and states that it seems like a leveled up monster. The Rinnegan wielding claw grime dives into one of the claw marks of another grime and appears from the chest of a third grime that had been laying behind Kawaki. Having gotten the better of Kawaki, the grime pushes Kawaki's face down into the ground. The entire team exclaims to this surprising turn of events. Kawaki manages to turn his gaze toward the monster, which slowly states that it recognizes Kawaki as an Otsutsuki. Suddenly, Shikadai grips the grime tightly with his shadow paralysis jutsu and tells Kawaki to get away quickly, as he can't hold him for much longer. But as he says this, Kawaki suddenly activates his karma seal and vaporizes the claw grime, stating that being called that pisses him off. As that claw grime falls, another grime summons 2 more. Take out one and 2 more take its place. Hail Hydra. Shikadai is disheartened by how many of these creatures there are, asking what they're gonna do about it, to which Kawaki offers the simplest answer. We're gonna slaughter every last one of them. It cuts back to Code, who stands there, flanked by his grimes. Boruto stands there resolutely, the only hint of aggression being his hand resting on his as of yet still sheathed blade. He's surrounded, but the look in his eye seems to disagree with that sentiment. One of the claw grimes comes at Boruto, who shows him his motivation by pulling off some real Virgil-like moves, cutting the grime down, seemingly without even drawing his blade. Code is startled by this, and Boruto is surrounded by those JoJo's Bizarre Adventure menacing characters, as the other claw grimes seem to display an uncharacteristic amount of fear. They all rush him at once, and this time we do see Boruto's blade. It swings in a wide circle, continually slicing and dicing all incoming grimes, dismembering them piece by piece, one by one, before they can even tell what's going on. Returning his blade to its sheath, it shows him standing there, surrounded by dead grimes. Boruto then turns his gaze to Code, who admits that Boruto might not have been completely bluffing. Boruto warns Code that if he keeps pressing the assault with his subpar soldiers, he's going to lose them all. Code scoffs at this, telling him that it's but a single drop in a very large bucket, and that these creatures are tools anyway, meant to be used and disposed of. It's then that Boruto tells Code the honest truth. He doesn't understand the true horror of the Ten Tails. We cut to Sarada, who is rushing forward with reinforcements. She launches a great fireball and takes down a grime. She then activates her Chidori and effortlessly eradicates many of them. The other shinobi near her are surprised by her power and ability, asking if she really is just a genin, to which she asks why her rank should matter. I mean, I know you're trying to follow in Naruto's footsteps and all, but yeah, rank kinda matters. Just then, a grime appears from one of the bodies of its comrades and attempts to bite her. She's caught completely off guard. A shinobi cries out for her to watch out and then dives in the way. It bites him and he cries out for them to help her. She and her teammate can only watch as the claw grime begins to mutate, turning into a tree and bringing its victim with it. Many of the other grimes use the same technique, biting and then transforming into a tree. Code explains to Boruto that he knows plenty about the Ten Tails. It's just a mindless beast that will continue to bite and consume anything it can until it eventually comes across an Otsutsuki. Boruto states that normally that would be the case, but the issue here is that Code has augmented them. They're slowly becoming more and more unruly, and Code should end them all while he can still control them, elsewise it won't end well for anyone. Code asks why he should care. He is, after all, planning to walk the path of the Otsutsuki. Once a Ten Tails devours an Otsutsuki, it sets down roots and becomes a divine tree. From there, it drains the planet of all life, killing it. He says that his future lays beyond any of those possible scenarios. Boruto warns him one more time, telling him that he will let him live if he, in return, guides Boruto back to the main body of the Ten Tails. Code tells Boruto to give him a break and questions if he's lost his mind. Boruto says that in all honesty, killing Code would be easy. He says that if he does though, Code will die in vain, for nothing. Instead, he asks why not actually contribute to society a little and at least help him find the Ten Tails first. Code says that nothing he says matters, as the one dying here will be Boruto. Boruto sighs and says that there truly is no cure for stupidity and begins to form what appears to be a Rasengan. Code laughs this off when he sees it, calling Boruto a one-trick pony. However, it's obvious that this Rasengan is different, as Boruto never truly forms it in his hand and gives it a new name, Rasengan Uzuhiko, and that's where the chapter ends. Now, I'm just gonna start where everyone else likely wants to start and begin with talking about the Rasengan Uzuhiko and its implications. As is common with the Uzumaki family, Boruto's next technique is, as you know, another Rasengan variant. The hilarious thing is that Code pegs him the same way fans have always pegged Naruto, as a one-trick pony, whose only techniques are Shadow Clone or Rasengan-based moves. But the difference here is how this jutsu is used. It may very well be a new Rasengan variant, but its name and general principles seem to be where that similarity ends. A special shout out to YouTuber Rising for pointing out how very similar this technique appears to be and is possibly connected to the palm rotation, originally seen from Neji and other Hyuga clansmen. It's not off the mark either, as the Naruto fandom that has already created a page for this still mysterious ability has translated its name to Spiraling Sphere Swirling Boy. This name insinuates that this technique is not just another sphere spinning in his hands, but something that he's doing with his whole body. He's taking the basis of the Rasengan and adding it across his whole form. Now, the reason why I believe he can do this is because he is in fact a Hyuga. While he may not have been naturally born with the Byakugan, though his karma seal solves this issue, Boruto should still have the more often forgotten Kekkei Genkai of the Hyuga clan, in which they can generate and control chakra from all across their body, which is how palm rotation works. Theoretically, anyone can use the gentle fist techniques, particularly the 64 palms if they have a Byakugan, but only a Hyuga can use palm rotation, because only a Hyuga is capable of expelling chakra from all of their tenketsu, as opposed to simply the ones on their hands and feet. Considering the concept that Boruto should have this ability, if that's mixed with the concept of a Rasengan, it's possible that Boruto can develop a Rasengan anywhere across his body, instead of just his hands like his father did. And if this is true, then Boruto could literally become a walking Rasengan, which is likely what the name is referencing. Considering that Boruto's Rasengan have a tendency to vanish after being thrown, the fact that we can't see his Rasengan insinuates that he's using the more condensed, compact, and devastatingly deceptive version as his sort of cloak. Even further, connecting Boruto to his Hyuga heritage as well as his Uzumaki Namikaze heritage, the Rasengan is known less for cutting through the skin as much as it is for causing internal damage that isn't too far removed from the gentle fist technique, in that it targets internal organs, nerve endings, and the chakra pathway system. Essentially, what I believe Boruto has done is perfectly mesh these two compatible techniques, meaning that Boruto is now a walking 8 trigrams 64 palms. What I foresee happening is that with this new technique, you will literally take internal damage to your organs, nerves, and chakra pathway system by simply being in the same vicinity as Boruto. That's what I feel it is, and my opinion is, as I said before, partially based on risings. By the way, you should check out his video, links in the description. Alright, the next thing to think about is Code's eye. As noted before, Code lost his eye seemingly in a battle that took place 2 years earlier. During that time, Boruto was apparently outclassed, as Code himself admitted, but Boruto still managed to take out his eye in what must have been a lucky turn of events. Originally, I believe that he was capable of this because of your standard shonen protag rage amp that comes with watching someone you love die, but now I wonder, the timing on it's off. If Code lost his eye 2 years ago, and Boruto had only just left the village 2 years prior, and was weaker than Code at this time, then how did Boruto get so strong? And what was the purpose of pulling Sasuke away from the village for like 3 days just to have him die? Who would have trained Boruto? That's one of the reasons why I believe that Boruto more than likely didn't lose Sasuke in this battle. Not to say Sasuke isn't dead, I still think he's deader than a blind possum trying to cross the I-90, but I don't think he died that early, or else Boruto's screwed. But then again, if Sasuke is dead, then someone had to kill him, and the only interested party actively hunting Boruto is Code, meaning that Code at some point would have had to have killed Sasuke, meaning that the only time Sasuke could have been killed was 2 years ago. Seems counterintuitive to kill Sasuke off immediately without any gain, but then again, he did get his Rinnegan stabbed the same day Kurama died, so I wouldn't put anything past them at this point. But if Sasuke, Boruto's mentor, died 2 years earlier without ever having the chance to teach Boruto anything, then what was Boruto doing during that time skip? Was he just winging it and hitting the gym every day and learning all on his own? Or perhaps he found a master to train under? Well, we don't know. Until we're given more lore crumbs from Kishimoto-sensei's table, we're just gonna have to go with imagination. But who, pray tell, could be Boruto's teacher if Sasuke died? Well, the one character who would make sense to teach Boruto. The character who showed up and then disappeared without a trace. What about Koji Kashin? Considering that Koji is a perfect clone of Jiraiya that was genetically modified to have all of his best traits and none of his worst, aka removing all of his personality, damn it, it's not hard to believe that Boruto could get this strong. And considering that he's created a new, super powerful Rasengan variant, this seems like a technique right up Koji's alley. Not something he can use himself by any means, but something that he can allow Boruto to utilize. That's very possible. I mean, for all I know, Sasuke could still be alive. It just makes no sense why he would be quiet for so long and why Boruto is throwing off loner vibes. I mean, I know the boy's been in the wilderness for 2 years, but you would at least expect him to say lead us to the Ten Tails instead of me. And Boruto's sudden, near-obsessive interest in the Ten Tails almost feels like he's carrying on someone's will. As I said, I still could be wrong, but if it were me making this series and I had my characters talking like this, I would generally be trying to hint that someone is dead without flatly saying so, but again, that's just me. Now, moving on to the claw grimes. This was another big reveal that we saw in this chapter. Apparently, they're capable of possessing a Rinnegan, though I wonder how this is so. Let's just take a look at our specimen. The claw grime had no known dojutsu or any visual organs perceivable when it first appeared. It merely attempted to bite into Chocho and was carried away like a rat in the talons of an eagle. It escaped, yes, but it didn't give off very threatening vibes before. Nothing different from any of the other claw grimes. But that all changed after a certain thing occurred. The kick delivered to it by Kawaki. The moment that grime hit the ground, it stood up and revealed its Rinnegan. Now, one might say that it always had it and simply didn't use it, but I don't think this is so for a few reasons. The first being that Shikadai said he felt like the grime had leveled up, which insinuates that it suddenly grew stronger. And if it's anything like your standard RPG, from which the term level up originally comes from, this means that it has the ability to evolve or develop new skills, which were previously locked behind a leveling gate. I could just be playing semantics, but it's also true that this thing appeared to grow more crafty, even being capable of getting the drop on Kawaki. But what really makes me think this was when it pushed him to the ground with such force and called him an Otsutsuki. As we know, a Ten-Tails cannot activate unless it is consumed in Otsutsuki. Once it has, the Ten-Tails will evolve into the God Tree. That's likely what the other grimes were trying to do. They were biting people and attempting to become miniature God Trees, as is part of their nature. This, however, means that Code's massive Ten-Tails is now a bunch of smaller Ten-Tails, all of which likely have the same power after absorbing an Otsutsuki. From what we've seen in previous Naruto content, particularly filler, which while questionably canon is still official, we've seen that there were many God Trees on Earth at one time. After Kaguya's Ten-Tails was sealed away, at least 2 more showed up, which Hagoromo used as a means to test his sons. So the Ten-Tails can easily reproduce, and it's highly possible that Code is mass-producing these seeds via claw grimes in an effort to recreate more God Trees and increase his chances of successfully spawning a fully powered one. After all, it only takes one bite. Should a grime successfully bite Boruto or Kawaki, the world is pretty much screwed. The revelation here is that these grimes are way more than merely just Zetsu. Though very similar in concept, these things are actually the Ten-Tails itself. Their rapid evolution upon physical contact with an Otsutsuki is testament to that. So, given that, we're actually revealed something important when understanding what the grimes truly are, and that is the Rinnegan that the grime possessed wasn't technically a Rinnegan, but was more actually just a Rinne Sharingan. Interesting, yeah? Well, the real question is what the difference is between a Rinnegan and a Rinne Sharingan. To me, they seem practically the same. One could argue that the Rinne Sharingan's ability to cast the infinite Tsukiyomi is to Kaguya as Madara's limbo technique was to him, or Sasuke's Amenoteji Kara was to him, the extra ability that comes with their own personal Rinnegan. But then again, if this was true, it also meant that not every Rinne Sharingan should have the infinite Tsukiyomi ability, which we seem to be hinted that every version does. On the contrary, however, we've only ever seen Kaguya's Rinne Sharingan use this, as the one Madara possessed was technically the one that came with Kaguya's Rinne Sharingan. But was it ever actually Kaguya's, or was it the God Trees? And if it was the God Trees, does that mean that every God Tree has the ability, or just this one? I'm falling deep into a rabbit hole, and I better slow us down before there's no escape. So while we weren't treated to as many of the big revelations as I had hoped, nor did we actually get to see Boruto's newest ability, we were treated to some nice lore, a few new questions, and a few more pieces of the puzzle that we hadn't witnessed before, which is nice. Frankly, I don't care if all of my predictions turn out to be false, just the ability to sit here and talk about it with you and make predictions at all is just so much fun. And before I finish, one last prediction. I predict that Code will eventually get eaten by his own claw grimes. It's just sorta heading that way. Anytime the hero warns the villain is generally correct while the villain generally waves it off, refusing to believe, and so far Code's doing exactly that. The grimes want to eat an Otsutsuki, and Code is technically an Otsutsuki. Boruto told him that he doesn't truly understand the Ten-Tails and that he should shut down the claw grimes before he loses control, and he's refusing to, which leads me to believe that he's inevitably going to lose control of them, get eaten, and cause the next Ten-Tails to appear. This will likely be the event that pulls both Boruto and Kawaki back together again, but if not, I guess it's just fun to imagine the possibilities. I hope you enjoyed this chapter review. All things considered, it was a good chapter. I wish we could have gotten a bit more in the way of reveals, lore, and ability display, but then again, I suppose it's important for a good story to keep a solid rhythm and pace, so I suppose I can wait another month to figure out what this spiraling boy technique is. But the one thing I'm looking forward to seeing displayed the most is Boruto's Jogan. We've seen it in filler, yes, but it's one of the most legendary dojutsu, even among the Otsutsuki clan, where the Rinnegan is commonplace. So I assume it's gonna be something special. I can't wait for it to be displayed. Still, I doubt it'll be displayed anytime in 2023, so I am going to make a special prediction for you. I predict the Jogan's true ability will be revealed in May of 2024. What do you think about that? It's impossible to actually know, but I'm gonna say it'll be revealed no earlier than that. Anyway, let me know down in the comments below what your favorite part of the chapter was, and what you think or would like to see happen in the next chapter. Until next time, peace out.
Did you enjoy our video? Well, then be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.